We'll still be able to hear you, but it won't be as like crisp. Yeah.
Will it be as crisp as this Narragansett? Made on honor, sold on merit.
Sold on merit.
That's for your consideration, Narragansett.
Do you guys want your last names in it when I like introduce you all?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
I think we should all go by the same last name, and we could tell people we're brothers.
Everybody is,
Yeah.
everybody is.
We should all last names should all be Dave. That's
No, Frank,
Dave.
we call
Dave.
me Greg
Dave.
Franco.
This is Dan
Dave,
Dave.
Dan,
Greg
Dave.
This is Dave Dave.
Dave, Greg Dave,
Alex
Alex Dave, and Dan Dave.
Oh, yeah, I'm Tiger. Yeah.
What's up, friends and family? Welcome back to our show. It's Literally Licy. I'm Licy Martinez with Troy Trogger. You can't see him, but you know where he is behind the camera. We're with the Cubicle Shamans today, literally in their cubicle, which I hope Troy has been zooming very awkwardly in on me and zooming out now in this cubicle on the 17th floor of one of the tallest buildings in Center City, Philadelphia. That's crazy. From left to right on the camera, there's Dan and Greg, Dave, and Alex. What's up, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
Happy to be here.
Thanks for
Happy
having us on the
to-
show.
Hell yeah. I'm going to awkwardly run out of frame, and we're not going to edit
right,
this
sounds
out.
great.
We're just going to keep. This is a guest and a gift. Guest and a Oh shit, I forgot about that part. Okay. And there's headphones on. Okay.
Should we be vamping?
Wait. Okay. I didn't even think about
I'm
it.
gonna vamp.
There we go.
Made on honor, sold on merit.
I have beer.
Yeah. Thank you for the beers.
This is like the minimum, but there's usually like 6 of you guys sometimes on stage.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
It's always interchangeable. It's always a good time. There's always something eclectic and something to look forward to. Sometimes you have Leah on piano. Wonderful job. The MIDI that you brought out last week, incredible.
Thank you.
I think it was, you're welcome. One of the first few times that I saw Dave was last week. I don't think that I'd ever met you, right?
Yes, I don't think I've ever been in Fergie's. Even I live in Center City for a long time. I don't think I've ever been inside the bar.
Y'all need to
You're
break out
missing
Dave
out,
more
Dave.
often. But anyway, Dave and along with a bunch of the rest of the drummers that we have at Fergie's, just insane. An incredible band. We don't see a lot of full bands at the show. We see a lot of guitarists, a lot of pianists, but and also in general in the city, it's hard to get a group of people together to want to do the same thing. How did you guys get started with that? How do you know each other?
So I've been in bands for a long time because I guess I got the gray hair in the group. And living in Center City, I wanted to do something in Center City because I have space here. I was in a band that moved on from the COVID, and they were in the burbs, and I didn't want to do the burbs thing. So I put an ad on Craigslist, and Greg answered my ad last spring. And I said I wanted to put together a Grateful Dead band,
Craigslist
Center
people.
City, and Greg was the first guy to answer, and him and I jammed.
That's awesome.
Craigslist bringing people together since
And
1996.
Greg and I
Craigslist.
jammed twice, and then I put a second ad looking for a bass keyboardist, Center City Grateful Dead band, have rehearsal space. Al answered the ad in like
Craigslist.
September.
Connect to your world.
Yeah.
And then he said, I got this guy who plays pretty cool guitar named Matt, who's in Arizona right now. That's why he's not with us. But he's our lead guitar. And then Al brought Dan and said he could play keyboard, sing, guitar, and multi-talented guy.
Yeah. Alex invited me to play keyboard, and I had been probably playing piano for like 6 months. So I was like, I can't do it. I can't play the keyboard. It's been kind of a learning process. I was inspired, I guess, I heard this story about the Radiohead keyboard player who like wanted to be in the band because he thought they were good but didn't know how to play the keyboard. So he would go and just turn his volume all the way down and just pretend to play. And then on his own time, he like learned to play the keyboard. And I feel like that's what I did with this band, like a little bit, and got to the point where like I can provide a serviceable keyboard sound. So it's like, I don't know. thanks for believing in me, guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you sound great. I
Yeah,
wouldn't have
awesome.
invited you if you did.
I never knew that you only played like 6 months. I mean, like the way you're playing, and it sounded like you've been.
Yeah, I didn't tell them that part. I just said my friend Dan plays keyboard.
Today's lesson is always lie on your resume.
Yeah.
Exactly. Show up and act like you know.
Leah, the piano player you mentioned, has been like coaching me, trying to like get me to provide good keyboard sounds, I guess. So like, it was definitely with a lot of help and a lot of coaching, but I think we've got to a point like where we sound really good right now, just in time to break up. You know?
Coach Lee has been good for
Bye, Dan.
helping arrange
Doors-
some of the
doors
jams
to the
we do
left.
as well. Yeah.
For a long time, it was kind of awkward because it was just me and Dave, and like it was fun, but you know, it was just my guitar. I was.
Well, you sang. You have a
I
very
sang.
good voice.
I was the singer, the guitarist, everything but the percussion, which wasn't that much. But then when Alex showed up, it was like he walked in. I walked in, and they had played once before without me. I was like, all right, got it going, because he could sing, he could play bass. It was solid.
Yeah, I've never played bass. I've played bass for a while. I never played in a band before now. Before
You
this band.
didn't tell us that.
I played
More
briefly
lies.
with Matt in another project, but I was just like a bedroom hero. So I always wanted to play bass in a band. I think it's really, really fun. So this has been really cool to have
your
that
first
opportunity. No, it's my first band in a long time. I was in bands in like high school and middle school. I'm about to be.
Concussion Bucket.
Yeah, we
That's
were
a
in.
good name.
Dan and I were in. I'm gonna use quotes on Concussion Bucket. But Dan and I lived together, or not lived together, but we lived in the same place
So
that
that's
was in
connection.
Philly. Yeah.
You put Dan
We
into
were
the band because you
friends,
guys
yeah.
went to high school together.
We were in the Army together.
You were in the Army together.
Yeah, and we overlapped in Alabama for, I don't know, maybe 6 months.
Like the back half of COVID.
Yeah, and I like
So
was.
we had like forbidden jam sessions.
Yeah,
during
we weren't allowed to
lockdown.
like hang out, but like we
sorry,
weren't doing anything at
Yeah.
all. So like I decided to learn guitar, and I like went to Alex's house like probably like 3-4 times a week, and we just started
We
with
just
like
played a lot.
the most like basic, you know,
We played,
baby's
like-
first guitar song. Like
Yeah, we played like Willie Nelson music, like really old country music, like 2-chord, 3-chord stuff.
Yeah.
I had an
But-
upright bass I was trying to learn at the time.
But we just played like 4 times a week, you know, cut our teeth. Well, I cut my teeth. Alex has already been playing music for a while. And like, we never performed for anyone. We had like a couple other people that would join sometimes, but like really we just played like 4 times a week. And there was like a moment where we were playing, I remember very specifically, I had never been like a big music guy, although I had played things before, but like we played Plush by Stone Temple Pilots, and I remember like it being really good. At least I, you know, thinking it was really
Yeah.
good. And like there was a moment at the end of
Or
that
at
song.
least it being in the moment and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And like I realized like at the end of that song, I was like, I understand why people like are willing to throw their lives away on this super small chance that they'll be successful in music. I was like, it's like worth it. How nice that is. And from that moment on, it's like, I'm gonna play music. I'm gonna be in a band. You know, maybe not full time, but like I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, at least it helps you keep your sanity because you're flexing that muscle.
You're
Right.
certainly on your way to throwing it all away with this group. No, just kidding.
We've referenced it twice, so let's put it into the
podcast.
make it part of the
lore.
podcast so that people
The
in the
official
audience
canon of the
know.
podcast.
Because we know what we're talking about, but the audience doesn't know. Dan's going to college.
Hashtag Dan's leaving.
Hashtag Dan quit the band.
Hashtag.
If you guys have
Dan's
comments about
getting
this
his
pod, it'll be
master's, not
hashtag
just
Dan quits the
college,
band.
but he's getting his master's.
Yeah,
his,
boo
his
college.
big boy master's in
That's
engineering
right, Troy, boo college.
in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
I like to just thank Dan as well as Al for their service.
Oh,
yes,
thanks,
absolutely.
man.
So thank you for your service.
Far out, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Dan, have you thought about how you're going to play in Michigan? Are you going to try and hook up with another band, or have you given that any thought?
You're gonna
I was
move
gonna
back
ask you
in
not
like a
in the
week.
pod, but-
You're gonna cry for a week and then move back.
My plan is to see how long I can
Suck
make
a
it before I
diploma.
give up. See, my living situation in Philly is very temporary, so I can't really move back. But no, I have come up with and like taken notes, written down ideas. I've brainstormed for how to find people to play with in Michigan, which is like kind of cringy, but like I found some jam nights. I'm going to go to these jam nights. I'm going to try to meet people. Ross, the business school at Michigan, which is like part of the place I'm doing my degree, has like a band, like a full-time band called Risky Business. It's funny because they're a business school.
Business school.
Yeah,
I
but
get it.
so they're like a rotating band where anyone who's at the business school can like try out. And
Right.
there's like 18 to 20 people. They play like 2 shows, I think, a semester, and then they like whoever's in charge, whoever's been elected to be in charge, kind of picks out who's going to be and what songs and what they play, and they set up gigs, right? And so like I'm going to be in this band. Certainly. I think the second year I'd like to be in charge. But like more than that, I think that what I'll find there is people that are interested in playing music, and not just like 2 shows a semester with Risky Business, but like hopefully they're as obsessive as I am and they're willing to play like 3-4 times a week. Right. So I'm looking for talent, you know, I'm like looking for obsessiveness and interest in playing all the time. And I think that like these kind of people are going to be showing up to music things. So
and Dan also has, his whole car is full of instruments. He has a banjo, a sax,
I love the banjo. I love it when the banjo whips out.
Wait, not a mandolin. I remember you told me he had a mandolin.
This is also because he lives in his car.
Keyboard.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's a very temporary situation.
Effectively, the place I'm staying is like no longer valid starting in 2 weeks. So then I will be living in my car.
You make it sound
so.
like you live in a condemned building.
2 weeks is so fast.
I'm staying with, and I'm very grateful, but I'm staying, a friend of mine's family owns a condo in Center City. Okay. And they've been letting me stay here for somewhat of an extended period, but like my welcome is rapidly coming to an end. It's been like 4 months. So like it's time, you know? And like I talked to, it's a friend of mine in the National Guard. Her parents own the condo, or her family, I guess. And originally it was just through the end of February. And then we found out we're doing another gig next Thursday, the 30th. And so I just like reached out and I was like, hey, like, can I stay another month? You know, it felt very much like those, you know, the friends you have sleeping on your couch just overstayed your welcome. I was just like, can I stay another like 4 weeks, 5 tops, you know, just like, I swear I'll be out of your hair soon, you know, but
just as soon as I find a job.
Yeah,
you know,
as soon as I can land on my
hair,
feet, I appreciate it so much.
Right. And then all you're doing is filling up his car with gas and he's just going west.
Yeah, I'm going to eventually make it out to see my sister in California. So she lives in LA right now.
All the way west.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is the Dan section. That's okay.
Yeah, that's the Dan section. It'll be over soon, much like my role in this band.
It is.
It's over soon.
So bring it over to Greg.
I can't wait till he meets his romantic wonder.
Oh,
we
man.
get whole chapter 2 out of it.
I know, man. The
She
sequel.
said my name. I have to talk now.
Let's bring it over to Greg. So that's what's happening in just a few weeks with Dan. Where would you like the Cubicle Shamans to go post Dan, and how have you guys been doing before that? And like, what's
So we have a young gentleman joining. He'll probably walk in about 12:30.
Oh, for real?
So Jacob, so Jacob
young.
is one of my son's friends who plays piano and guitar. So he's been morphing into the role with Dan and watching Dan and learning from Dan. And Jacob's actually a very good guitar player.
He's going to redshirt for this gig.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And then,
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but he's you know, he's young, but he's pretty good as a musician.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude. It's frustrating that Dan's leaving. Just like any time you change the chemistry in a band, you know what I mean? Especially a band with 5 people in it, and we all kind of have to like we're just getting to a point, I think, where we're really kind of gelling almost to another, like to a next level, and we're kind of we have the chemistry to improvise a little bit better now. So it's going to take a little bit of time, I think, to rebuild that foundation with Jacob, just because he's going to have, you know, different instincts than Dan on the keyboard and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's the fun part of being in a band is building that chemistry. So it's going to be fun building that back up. But there is like the frustration of we just spent, 6 months really kind of grinding that up with Dan.
We just wasted all this time on Dan, and now, no, I'm just kidding.
I feel like
Dan,
my best years are behind me.
I would say like the thing, Dan's vocals have added a lot. Like
Right.
having 3 vocals,
and that especially,
on
the
top
chemistry
of like
that
the
we have
piano and
vocally
everything.
is starting
Yeah,
to gel really, really nicely.
I feel like that is the main theme, though. Whenever I've seen you guys, is the bouncing chemistry and the ins and outs and the friends that you featured on stage with you when you play. And I don't think that you'll have any problem.
Again, let's go back to one more thing about Dan, because it's back to Dan. I love this.
This is the Dan show.
But actually, and actually, Al pointed this out to me, is that Dan also is a management orchestrator of keeping and listening and figuring out the harmonies and wants to stop and say, wait, you hit high. So he's bringing an element to orchestrating.
Dan's bringing an element of discipline that we seriously lacked.
Right. I guess that's from his
military
some of
discipline.
his trainings. We're not allowed to talk about his top secret though from U.S. government.
That is going to be
Dan's
something that we
spy.
have to try, and that is that's a role in the band, though, is to be like kind of the cart driver. You know what I mean? The pusher, a little bit. The pusher, the puller, a lot of it. You know?
Yeah, it's like an orchestrator, really.
Right.
You, me, and Matt are not pushers.
Right, so I was saying, me and Dave, we're gonna each try to give half a push and maybe get to a whole push that Dan was able to give. It's gonna be tough, you know.
Right.
But you know, we'll figure it out. But like, you know, all that to say, like, losing Dan is like that stings, you know, in a lot of ways, like musically, and also there's the logistic element that he really brought to the table.
All right.
Well, I think the thing.
Next question. No more Dan.
Well, the thing about it is,
We have to move on.
She asked where like the band wants to go, and I think the thing is, you know, we're playing a lot of Dead, and that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And I think we want to keep playing Dead, and keep expanding Dead. But we also, you know, I think we're gonna play some other stuff, you know.
Yeah, we might pepper in. Well, I think definitely pepper in other covers.
Said I want to sprinkle.
Yeah, I think that's what's fun.
Exactly. We might even have some originals.
Exactly.
And we learned something that's a little bit more.
Yeah, doing some.
We do
I would like to do some more originals eventually. That's something that we do differently, I think, than a lot of people at the jam night. So many people at jam night or open mic or whatever you want to call it are showing up trying to road test like songs that they've written. And I think we've played like one original maybe ever at, you know what I mean? Like we just are like so cover driven. It's just like two different approaches, you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting.
Well, covers are good for getting a sound,
If
you know,
it's
first
fair,
and getting together.
But I'm
To
working
say.
on my private dance, like the guy the other night that did the dance.
that was a good dance though. He
Are you saying you're going to be our private dancer?
not like that.
Okay, I cannot say that in front of camera
things
on
into-
microphone. To be forever.
To put things into context, Dave is our private dancer.
Troy,
No.
Troy,
But to
I
put
know where
things-
you live.
To put things into context, last week at open mic, there was this dude that put a keyboard on stage and just started dancing, and it was interpretive, it was creative, it was different. That's all.
Wait, was there
It was the
music
first dance
or
we
did
It
did
you
was a
as a
beautiful
band.
piece
Okay.
of art.
It would be great if
His
he brought a
parents were proud
keyboard
of him.
and there was no keyboard playing.
Yeah, I think he
make
was
him feel
just trying to
better.
Oh,
road
he
I
test
think
wrote
that
a
he
song
made
and
that
then
song.
danced to it.
I think that's the whole
cool.
thing, is that
I-
he's a
Parents still love
DJ.
him.
I thought for a
Yeah,
sec
okay,
you meant he
okay.
brought a keyboard on stage, didn't play it, and just danced, and there was no sound. And
No
I was
sound.
like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It is good. It is good. Tell us about, is this going to be your last show on Thursday before new member, old member?
Yeah, this is
thing
Dan's
switch
last
up?
Dan's
show.
farewell show that I know you're coming to. We got
must
you a
be. We
reserved
should.
balcony, like a whole catered event for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I-
got
Whole balcony.
We do. We have like two
It's
or
literally
three
a
songs though
balcony.
that are like
We-
heavy Dan feature. Your favorite Dead song, Althea, we added in, which is a really great jam vehicle. It's a super simple song. So
I saw the Billy Joel meme. I hope that there is a Billy Joel song.
yeah, we're playing a
There
Billy
is.
Joel song.
right,
Maybe
don't ruin
should
it.
I like just leave which song it is as a
All right, maybe we
secret
should
or
know.
something? Or
Yes.
Oh
please
my
Maybe,
don't.
God,
we could,
it's
maybe that's the one we'll do
top
here.
secret.
We could do that one here.
What's the
Yeah.
Billy Joel song?
It's we're gonna play "Moving Out"
Because Dan
Okay.
is. Because Dan
'cause
is.
I'm moving
Dan's
out,
moving
but
out.
Fill in the
that
blank.
was kind of
Moving
unintentional.
out.
Kind of unintentional. It was actually really cool to go through and like challenging to learn like an actual piano player's song rather than just like keyboard accompaniment stuff. And it's been like really fun to learn that Billy Joel song. But as
love
far
Vienna.
as that's
a great
it's a great song
song.
too. We've like
we've been actually talking about adding that in.
we've
after-
we've
now we're
jammed
talking
it a
about
little bit a
the
couple
live
times.
Now you got to
Um,
do it for me.
Yeah.
And our if it's any like looking forward to the future, Jacob is our new piano player. Is he knows how to play Vienna, and we've jammed on it a couple of times. I think that like that's a possible future one.
Yeah, for sure.
But as far as like where the band's going forward, like I think Cubicle Shamans is like growing. It's like not necessarily in terms of like followers, in terms of like invest now early. I just mean like the chemistry's good. Everyone wants to play music so much. Like
No, in all seriousness,
yeah.
I think that this is bigger than you all give it credit for, or maybe I'm not understanding that you all give it more credit than I'm seeing. But this is really cool. Like we're in a random office, and this is
It's a large cubicle.
it's a very large
It's a large
open cubicle.
That's the whole answer to the
think-
mystery. We have one large cubicle.
There's so
mean-
much equipment, and you
Yeah,
guys
it's a
spend
lot
so
of
much time
stuff.
here, and you play out every week at the open mic, and you come out. And I'm sure that you play other shows.
We do. We have a show on Thursday,
March 30th.
That
Kung
Kung
Fu
Fu
Necktie.
Necktie.
I think this will be out after your show.
Bummer.
That's okay.
I hope
We
you
had
win.
a show on March 30th.
How did it go?
Oh, we
so
crushed it.
Good.
It was amazing.
But as
bad.
a band, this is our third show. So so typically we play the show, then we'll try to book one more show. Like, it's a hobby. So, we're not gigging every week. We're not touring. We're trying
Yet.
to just keep it in Philly. But probably after this, we'll probably get one more spring show. We're actually maybe going to try to work on something for down the shore for like the heavy summer. And
I wanna
Absolutely.
play
You
some
guys should
shows
try to
outside.
find-
Yeah,
I was
for
we're
sure.
trying to do some
You
outdoor
guys should try to
shows
find an
this summer.
outside stage. That was literally
I have
coming
a
out of.
I have a friend who has a rescue farm. I want to shout out Muddy Paws Rescue Farm in South Jersey. And they
He's
said,
got a
well,
plug.
they do a lot of like open house type events. So I really would like us to play. I've been trying to. I have this like fever dream of us doing we just learn like a bunch really good summer music, you know what I mean? Like really summery,
Boys.
fun. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like really just good
Like
vibes, happy stuff.
Soundgarden.
And we just play it in my fever dream. Sometimes we
Thus
just play
do
it
the
on
people.
rooftops across the city. But, that's not really feasible.
You
So I
know-
would settle for my friend's rescue farm one single time.
Dude, I'm down.
I played outside.
Troy has a
fun.
roof.
It is cool.
Yeah.
The song's a
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
that's
It's not my
happened to me.
rooftop.
That's funny.
Don't a neighbor complains, and next thing you know is shut it down.
Well, that's the thing is
Is this
going to
be like Abbey Road
Nowhere,
then?
so you can crank it up.
I mean, that's what happened to the
But
Beatles.
I would like to get us on.
So
in
we're following in
Porch
good
Fest, too.
footsteps if the neighbors call on us and
Yeah, well, so
kick us off the roof.
my friend Casey, who was here the other night, and he took a great picture of us, and he said, "Oh, he called this the modern day Abbey Road." He's like, "Oh, it's like the modern day Abbey Road being in the giant
That's awesome.
cubicle." I love that name for
know.
this. That's like my new name for this now.
the
Cubicle
cube,
Giant
Studio.
The Cubicle Studio.
the cube stube.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I like
the
the
farm
harvest.
metaphor is always hilarious to me, it just makes me
What's
laugh.
cooking in the kitchen?
Oh, who's who in the zoo?
Yep, the new
Yeah,
recipes.
some new stew.
What's in the files today?
That's right. Just tending to our sheets, instead of sheep. That's an Excel joke. I don't know.
Yes, the Excel joke. I understood the Excel joke. What
Just
they call it,
cutting
the
a batch.
PowerPoint
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
today. Slides.
.doc.
Just
.pdf,
bagging and
.jpeg.
getting our product
.png.
ready.
Should I just keep naming file extensions?
Some
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
at some.
Yeah.
Every
.com.
new word.
.edu.
Well, I just want to say my dream is not unlike your dream, which is my dream. I think I mentioned this before to you guys.
We're not so different.
this
you
is-
and I.
sometimes I had come out with my deep thoughts.
The
with
Greg
Jack
universe is
Handy
coming.
moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. is always to play on a riverboat, going
Oh,
down
man,
the
that would be
Mississippi.
so cool.
And have people coming out on the bank. I always thought that would be awesome.
But
Yeah, that would
right
be
now
really
we're tentatively working. I mean, you
Back
weren't
to
here
reality.
for this, so this will be new for you. Is that we're tentatively working for a gig in Wildwood at Keenan's at a
nice.
major bar.
Oh, I
down
can
in
try to help
Wildwood,
you out
so-
with Wildwood.
So
I have a friend with ties in Wildwood. She grew up there, and she works at
she's in the Wildwood
one of the
scene.
breweries there.
So yeah, this would be
The
this is like
Wildwood-
a
the
big,
underbelly
this is a
of
big time
Wildwood.
Philly charity that's doing a big event there.
Oh yeah,
You thought normal
So
Wildwood was
we'll see
wild.
if we get the invite.
that's awesome.
The seed has been planted.
Boom. That would be really cool. To do. Have you guys ever done? Have you done any outdoor events?
Again, we just the band really started in September. So
Oh, this is your third gig.
yeah, so
This
we
is our
played
third
one gig in
Okay,
November.
okay.
This is our first opportunity
pl-
as the weather turns nice. This is our
Right.
first.
We played November,
consistent good weather
January,
even having a
and now
shot.
March. So we're 6, every 6
Madness.
weeks we're hitting a gig.
Which I think is probably the right pace for us.
I think it's
6
perfect.
to 8 weeks.
There's enough time for you
Once we build
to
up a
songwrite,
catalog, maybe a little
to build a rapport with each other. I think that's best before
Right.
gigging out. I feel
Definitely.
like you're doing a lot of gigs actually for being so new.
And then we're we take out a couple songs. We want to add a couple.
Yeah.
So and just keep them around.
I feel like we've been just learning all of these songs oftentimes just to play one time at jam night to like see how it sounds.
To show
like,
it off.
And yeah, just to like,
Yeah.
how does it play and how does it feel? And like,
Stretch the musical brain in a new direction. Like we played,
Yeah.
like Dan and
there's-
I've never played
It's like a
jazz in our
test.
life.
That's how it
Yeah.
is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
At open
We played
mic
Duke
night, that
Ellington
it's-
at open mic. you
Yeah,
know,
and we did that
we
that
just
jazz
try and
song
do
was
stuff we've never done.
It was so
before.
much fun, and I don't necessarily think the Cubicle Shamans going to go jazz. Maybe it's our third studio album, but
Sure.
I
like,
mean,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it could.
but like I just think that like
Bring
we've
Dan back to the
learned all
album,
these
right?
songs,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
right.
one of them, and I guess I could say it's not a secret. It's after the show, but "Heaven" by Los Lonely Boys we learned as a song for jam night.
Yeah.
And we didn't like we all liked doing it so much, and it sounded good, so we're just like, let's
Okay,
just play it in the show.
It's in. Yeah.
So we just added it to the show, and we kind of didn't perform it at jam night. I think that like trying to learn all these new songs to play them has actually been like we are like tending and harvesting our like song crops and
and
like
just like refining our chops and all that stuff too. Like
There is one thing though I think we haven't mentioned that is very critical.
What's
I can't
very
wait to hear
critical? What's
whatever you're
very
about to
important?
say.
I know. Drum roll.
Matt.
I know.
We
that's
have
true.
not mentioned Matt.
True. Matt
So-
What's up with Matt? Tell us about Matt.
So Matt, you have seen Matt at
Okay.
open mic.
Okay.
He is our Matt and I are the two guitarists in the band.
Greg, I hope this isn't insulting. Matt's such a good guitar player.
I'm not insulted.
Matt is very creatively influential in terms of like I think he comes with a lot of good ideas. I think he's able to like be so flexible as a guitar player that like when he brings his ideas, he does well. Like everyone when they bring their own ideas does well. But Matt does well on everyone else's ideas too. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so like I can come with an idea. I say, hey, let's play Billy Joel on the piano, and then I'll play on the piano, and I'll have practiced a lot, and it'll sound okay. And then everyone else has these ideas, and I kind of had to struggle through on piano. Whereas Matt comes like knowing it. He's written down the different parts that he wants to do, and he provides something immediately. And he's like, yeah, Matt adds a lot, I guess, is all I'm trying to say.
He has
What-
a really creative use of. He has like a really wide palette of sounds because he has some. He's very like he's super educated about his use of pedals, which especially in like we play like psychedelic jammy type
Did
of
he
music.
study music theory?
He has like
Probably.
independently a ton.
Yeah.
He's super educated. He has a PhD in I think physics. So he's
So rad.
which
So-
is
so
like
that's
and
actually-
like Greg has a PhD in math. So like
Yeah.
there is like that music math connection, right?
We
But
have
what-
two PhDs in this band, and then we have two masters, too. So,
and soon to be 3.
well, we'll have to re-interview you. We need an updated.
Every-
You'll have to re-enter the
Everybody can read.
Maybe
Al
re-audition.
At least.
dot at some
So
dot
it's a
al
good-
dot
Yeah.
g dot com.
Everyone in the band can read.
Yeah,
That's good.
Not to brag,
news
but we
then.
do. We all are literate. No, but Matt has like in addition to being a really good guitar player, he has this really good understanding of like kind of what voice he wants to use on what song
Yeah.
and what voice is right to use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the color palette or like the audio palette that he has to choose from, one is very wide because he has a lot of really cool equipment because it's like something he's passionate about. But like what he really brings is he's like, oh, like we need to sound more country. Okay, I have a slide and I'll play slide.
Yeah.
guitar. Oh,
Right.
we need to sound psychedelic. Like
Well,
I'm
I-
gonna hit the Jerry Garcia button on my.
Not
you
the
know what I
Jerry
mean?
Garcia, but
But
I
also,
think-
but the thing that he also does is keeps it simple.
Right.
So he which is he does like the other day.
Yeah, he does
at-
all of that without being overbearing. Exactly.
Well,
Thank you.
that's- I
that's the
think-
best way to put it. Like the other day at open mic, right? The guy brought NASA with him. Like there was a foot pedal board. The guy brought like his own NASA equipment of like 30 pedals on a board. But Matt doesn't do that. He like has just a handful.
he knows what he needs.
And he
Yeah.
exactly he knows what
It's
he
not about
needs.
showing
and-
off. It's like,
exactly
this is
and
what
keeps it
works
simple or not overbearing. I like that
Right.
word.
And that's it's so easy to overplay
so-
with any instrument at
Just
any
to
time.
match.
It's
Yeah, I
easy to
think that's the
overplay.
key
Where's
to being.
Matt today?
He's in Arizona because his he's wife, right?
Fiance,
Wife?
I think girlfriend.
Okay.
Definitely not wife. They might be engaged. I don't
Right.
think they are. though.
Lady.
They live together
So
for sure.
yeah, but it was her friend's birthday or some event that he was going to, and he'll be back
Wah,
on
wah,
Tuesday morning
Matt.
because he's jamming Tuesday night with our last practice before the gig.
right.
But-
what were you saying, Greg?
I was just gonna say, like, I think the thing about a good lead guitarist
Mhm.
is they know how to use sounds in space.
Right.
It's not just about when you're playing; it's when you're not playing.
Yeah,
That you can
absolutely.
accent,
And-
and,
and
Matt's
it-
good at hitting that.
And
I
Matt's
agree.
in another band, so we share Matt. We don't get full Matt, but Matt's in a band that's doing all originals, and they're going to be putting an album out. So they have a
and they're playing
And they're-
at our show. as well.
They are
They're
the
Wonder House
opening
and they're
act.
wonderful.
They're called Wonder House.
Yeah, they're called Wonder
They're
House.
opening for us. Yeah.
You should interview their singer,
and again,
man.
Wonder
He's
House
funny.
is
He's
opening
a
for
cool
Cubicle
guy.
Shamans at Kung Fu Necktie
That's
on
March
March
30th.
March 30th,
At-
this Thursday. Well, this would have
This
already
last
posted.
Thursday.
This last Thursday.
It just happened. It was great.
It just
It
happened.
was such a
great.
good show. It was
Yeah.
monumentous. I did cry.
Oh no.
Probably easy to tears.
So many tears. Now we're back to our only segment. We will give you more segments when we think of them. I don't like saying that only segment. That makes it sound so negative. We're back to our segment of Philly Phavorites.
Our fantastic favorite Philly Favorites section.
I love all yes,
The
alliteration.
main feature of the Philly segment.
That's right. The main feature.
We're back to our main feature. Featured. We're back
about
to our main
literally
feature
Licy's local
Philly-
likes?
of our fantastic Philly favorites.
Literally Licy's local likes.
Literally,
Our
Licy's
fantastic Philly
local
favorites for
likes.
fans
at
and
the
followers.
top of. No, there's no more L's that I can give you. Anyway, with our Philly favorites, let's start with Alex.
Okay.
Where is your favorite bar?
I am going to give a degenerate answer and say that
Degenerate.
my favorite
Shitty.
bar is Ray's Happy Birthday Bar in
Hell
South
yeah.
Philly.
Ray's Happy Birthday Bar. Ray's Happy Birthday Bar was where I sang 1985 on karaoke, and it was the last bar that I went to before COVID.
Nice, dude. I caught MRSA there once. It was tight.
Well, I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
sorry.
That's what makes
Nah,
favorites out of things,
I
you know?
didn't. I'm lying. But no, I am a connoisseur, if you will, of the $5 and under citywide, which Ray's is one of the last ones in the city that still does that.
Oh, yeah?
So
$3 or
shout out
$4?
Ray's. It's $4.
Holy shit.
Bob and Barbara's, that's another great sub $5 citywide. Don't get me
heard of
started
that
on
one.
this.
I haven't done my due diligence. I've lived here 6 years on and off, and I've not been to Bob and Barbara as the originator of
It's
the
great.
citywide.
Fergie's has a great citywide too, though. Six is
Yeah.
a good, and you get a pound.
I'm not a fan of Narragansett. I'm just not. I
Oh, see,
like
I'm a
that
Gansett.
temporary period where we had
Narragansett.
hams.
It's made with honor, sold on merit.
Official sponsor of
Well done.
What's the next local like?
Where is your favorite meal to be had? Even if it's you that makes it and it's a local like ingredient that you get. Like, where's your favorite food?
I like that caveat.
Yes,
I'm
good
gonna say
caveat.
though, I don't do this very often, which is why I think a favorite is something you shouldn't necessarily do all the time, right? Because then it's not your favorite anymore.
Right.
But one of my favorite things to do is when people come in from out of town, go down to John's Roast Pork and they buy a cheesesteak and I buy a roast pork and we split halves.
Yeah.
And I like it
Nice.
because it's a delicious sandwich, but also the experience of like doing that with a friend is like one of my favorite things to do in the city. So that's my favorite meal, I think.
Good shit. And favorite event or hobby that is unique and eclectic to Philly to be had here. Your favorite thing to do.
My favorite thing, the two, I'm going to give two, and I'm sorry for that.
That's okay.
You guys can also give two. I think
Dave
that's
can give
only
three.
fair.
I won't.
And then
I
I'm
can't
sorry,
even
I'm
think
messing
of
everyone's
one.
names up. Dave can give 3. Greg can give 4, and then Dan can give 5.
Dan
We're
can
just
give 5.
increasing the
Does
numbers.
Dan even know 5 things to do in the city? That's my question. No. My two favorite things, I live near the Italian market, so I really like to go. I get groceries I just like to be in the Italian market, just like going up there getting groceries. There's a record
They make
store.
fresh tortillas in the
There's-
Italian market.
Yeah, there's a ton of food. There's a lot of there's like a record store I really like in there. So shopping in the Italian market, and then the other thing I really like in the city is catching a show at the Man in the summer. I think it's one of the best venues I've ever been to. It's fantastic. It's amazing. So those are my favorites.
Amazing. Dave, where's your favorite bar in the greater Philadelphia
I know.
area?
So I'm America's guest. I love all bars. I mean, it's like, it's a bar. It's cool. It's fun. But every bar is different, and I enjoy like my first time coming to Fergie's. That was pretty cool at your open mic night this past week, and I live like 2 blocks away, but all around that 13th Street area is great. There's great areas in town. That Rittenhouse has got great areas. Fishtown and Northern Liberty. So there's so many cool bars in Philly. I can't pick a favorite because they're all good.
All right, everybody's favorite is Dave's favorite. What about your favorite meal?
Living in town, we eat out a lot. We eat out more than we make in. Because I live in a building that we can't open the windows, and cooking's not great when you can't do that. And last night we had so I'll go with, because I can remember like last night. Last night we went to Laser Wolf, which was amazing. in Northern Liberty.
That
So
place is
like
awesome.
they know how to do it. Like that place was great.
What kind of
But
food
you know,
is
I won't say it's
Laser
my
Wolf?
favorite, but it was a favorite in the last 24 hours. Tonight
Yeah.
I'm going to Budokan. That will be tomorrow's favorite.
Laser Wolf is the same guy that owns Zahav, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Laser Wolf is.
Salamanov?
Zahav is
Michael
one of the best meals I've
Salamanov,
ever
I
had,
think
too.
is, or
Exactly.
Samalanov.
And then
Yeah.
Michael Samalov or something like that. Yes.
Yeah,
And
dude, if you're
then
watching, you
events-
make a mean. Everything you make is really good.
And then
Call
He's,
Alex.
he's like large on YouTube too. He's like
Yeah.
a big food persona.
Oh yeah.
because he wants his own show. He wants to grow and he wants to be like America's Next.
He's
He
talented.
Put me on the
deserves
Food
it.
Network. You know,
Dude,
these
he
guys want
deserves
to,
it.
be the next Guy Fieri and get his own gig.
Bam.
Fieri, is that his name is?
Fieri.
Yeah.
Fieri, I think.
You
So
can
anyway,
remember his name 'cause his hair
event-wise,
looks like fire.
I love
Favorite things
sports
to
and
do?
music, so luckily I was able to go to a lot of things I want to go to. So I go to like playoff games. I go to Sixers, Eagles, Phillies, or musical events. Like I love going to concerts, love live music. So
Dave's a
all
hooper
those
too. He
things.
plays basketball a ton.
and I
Oh,
do play a lot
really?
of basketball. Yeah.
Where's your favorite park to play basketball at?
The best court in the whole area is the Sixers practice facility in Campton. I played there. That place is awesome.
Okay, Dave.
Dave with the
So,
bougie
that
answer.
is the best because you walk out and you're like, wow, this court is amazing.
the Camden Sixers practice.
Yeah, but I run a good
Perfect
fundraiser.
example.
I play on the Wells Fargo court. I've been on. We play that once a year on that court. I play on a regular weekly game. Actually, they play every day, but I usually sign up for a couple days a week at the Field House on Spring Garden. I'm playing Monday and Wednesday this coming week. But when those guys came out to our gigs, and it was fun having them at our gig. They
Yeah,
all
they're
came
our
out and
only
supported.
fans.
Yeah, my other crew of
Only
friends.
shamans.
Shamans. There are shamans.
Kidding.
Is that what you call them?
No, we would be their shaman.
Oh.
Because like I think the shaman like opens the portal or whatever. I don't know much about shamans.
The
right?
shaman.
I don't even know what
the
it is.
shaman
Our fans
supplies
go-
the
our fans
ayahuasca.
I'm
need
still waiting
the
for you to
portal to be
explain to me what a
open.
shaman is.
Like you're our shaman. He's our shaman. This
Does
is the
he not
genesis of the
understand the name of the? We're.
A
So,
a
'cause we're in a
shaman is
cubicle.
like
I got it
a
immediately.
wise
I
man
didn't
who
get
like
it for months. I understood it
What?
now. He doesn't
a
get
wise
it?
man who like supplies the peyote to
Right,
the
yeah.
group
So like you
for their
are like guiding us because he's
they're
seen the Grateful
enlightened.
Dead.
This is
Oh.
So
They're
Dave is
enlightened.
like,
Your
yeah.
form of
Gotcha.
drugs-
Dave's
yeah,
like ahead of us with
like
the
literally,
list, you know what I
I've probably
mean?
seen like probably over 100. I don't even know,
So
maybe
Dave's
100
Indiana
plus
Jones
dead
with
shows.
the torch,
Yeah,
and we're like,
that's true.
I
I'm
don't
the
know,
only
does
one that
anyone
actually
accompany
seen the
him?
Grateful
We're gonna
Dead
have
with
such
Jerry.
A ball editing this. Just
He's our guru, and we're the fans.
and we collectively are the guru. For, yeah,
So
exactly.
Dave is their guru's guru.
But right, exactly. That's right.
Oh, okay. That's
That's
a lot
right.
of pressure. I'll
anyway,
be back.
moving on to Philly favorites with Greg.
Hey.
Greg, where's your favorite bar in Philly?
So it was already mentioned,
Can we go
but
back to
my
Dave? I
favorite
wouldn't
bar
say
is
about Dave.
definitely Bob,
Bob
and
and
Barbara's.
Barbara's. Hell yeah.
Bob and
Barbara's was
Barbara's
one of my other
has
choices. I
the
love that
jazz.
Philly's bar.
Jazz on Wednesday, jazz Friday, jazz all the time, the citywide, and good people. So you
Their
can't beat
house
it.
jazz band is unbelievable.
It's
dude.
just
They're
an awesome
so
place.
talented. If you
So-
want to see some really, really good instrumentalists, man, Bob and Barbara's. They're
Bob and
so
Barbara's
good.
rocks.
And the other the place on Sampson's amazing jazz venue.
Time.
Oh, Chris's Jazz
Chris,
Cafe.
yeah.
Oh, Chris's Jazz.
Time
Yeah.
as well, though, on the first floor has really good
Okay.
jazz.
So Bob and Barbara's for the drinks, for the people, for the jazz group there, the house band. And what about your favorite meal, Greg?
Favorite meal? I would say like my favorite staple
Yeah.
is Denix.
The
In the
Knicks?
Reading
That's
Terminal.
my favorite.
So I actually
That's a
went
great-
to high
that's a great
school
sandwich.
and friends with, although I don't see him that much anymore. He's got 4 kids with Joe, who's actually like the owner of it right now. He and I go way back. I used to go there when I was like 17 before it got on Man vs. Food and everything. And either way, it's like you don't need me to tell you it's like the best sandwich.
Man vs. Food is the reason why I checked it out, to be honest.
Yeah, it blew up after that,
I
but
loved
it's
Man vs. Food.
amazing.
I
It
have
was
3
amazing.
brothers, so I like shit like that. But the thing to do when you go to Denix is you order your sandwich, and then whilst they make it, you go to the store next door. It's called Condiments, or it's something like that, but they sell condiments. And then you
Nice.
get the onion marmalade, right?
Yeah.
And then you go back and you get your sandwich, right? And then you put that on your sandwich, and you get your hot pepper, and you eat your sandwich, you eat your hot pepper, you eat your sandwich, you eat your hot pepper, and it has this onion marmalade.
That's a next level.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yep.
We have to have it like a Reading
I
terminal.
feel like
We
that
should
is
have
a very
we should
hot
have a
podcast
hangout.
tip
We
right
should
there.
do a-
Hot podcast tip.
We should do a hangout there.
I also once
God, I love it.
was and still am the self-proclaimed food scientist. I know the tips and secrets of the trade.
Yeah, I can verify. She was a food scientist.
Insert picture of the next, the sloppiest, delicious roast pork sandwich with greens and sharp prove, and it's just
And
this
onion marmalade.
Onion marmalade. Thank you for
Oh my
reminding me.
God,
It's just
sounds amazing.
dripping,
Just the
delicious
existence of onion
sauces.
marmalade.
Condiments and they sell.
Onion marmalade or
I
onion
had the
jam.
same
I
thought.
forget what it's specifically called, but it's onion, and it's like onion jelly, marmalade, or jam.
I'm gonna
something of the
have to
sort.
talk to Joe about this. I know he's a purist, so
Maybe they
he
can
may
do a
not.
collaboration and
he
Joe
may
can
not-
put it on the menu.
You know, yeah, I'm gonna have to mention this to him because
Oh, I don't want to upset Joe.
no, he won't be upset.
Okay.
I'm just
You
gonna
might break your
say
kneecaps, but he
I
won't be
told.
upset.
How's you doing? How's you doing?
Oh, are you
Yeah.
Lisi? I've got something.
Exactly.
to tell you.
Everyone that orders a
can't come
roast
back.
pork, he's like, "Where you going?" You have to wait within 1 arm's length of the counter.
We changed all the rules. The rule.
Hey,
Right here.
Right.
we don't
Hot
do
peppers and
It's going to become like the
horseradish
Seinfeld soup Nazi episode.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no sandwich for you. You go. So you go. Now we changed the whole demeanor of Reading Terminal.
yeah.
Oh no! Not
Look
the
what
whole
you did.
demeanor of Reading
Your
Terminal.
podcast changed it.
Not the Demir. I'm sorry. I think there's another one for Greg still. We're still on Greg, right?
Yeah.
We're still on Greg.
I just went on a tangent on the next because I love the next. But moving forward with Greg, where is your favorite event or hobby to be had in the city?
So yeah, interesting. Mine are kind of simple, but honestly, I think my first honestly is probably going to Bob and Barbara's on Friday night and going to
love
see
that.
jazz there. I love it.
Hell yeah!
And then no, on Friday night, go to see jazz at Bob and Barbara's and slip it out for a bit and go to A La Mousse and get some matcha cheesecake because
Yeah.
that is
yeah.
the shit. And then
I'll give you a third. He gave 2.
all right. And then the other, honestly, simple, but I like just like biking down the Schuylkill River Trail, just riding and going
Classic.
by the
That is a
by the
classic.
boathouses, going on the other side, and you can see the boathouses from there. It's really pretty.
On
Go
the
out to
water.
bike out to Wissahickon in the summer.
How long have you lived here?
I grew up in South Jersey, so I grew up around Cherry Hill, across the water, and I've lived in I moved back from Wisconsin, so I've been living in Philly about on and off for about 4 years now.
That's awesome.
I was living in Jersey for a little bit and then came back, you know. But
Here and
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Thanks, Greg.
yeah. Thank you.
Hell yeah!
All
What's up,
right.
Dan?
This is Dan's Philly's favorites.
Dan's
I've,
Philly Favorites.
I've lived
Where's-
here for 4 months, and I'm leaving in 2 weeks. But I will give you all of your answers, and including I was told I had to
in
say
a very compressed
5
form.
things to do in Philly that I've liked, and I have them, of course. You know, what do you think I've been doing here the last 4 months? But like, so favorite bar. I was also going to say Bob and Barbara's. I'll give it like a very short story. Before I actually moved to Philly, I came to visit Alex, and I was staying here for maybe 3 nights, and we went to Bob and Barbara's. And at the time, I really hadn't even played piano yet, right? And so I was just playing guitar. And I saw this guitar player for the house jazz band that's so good. And he was playing guitar, and it was amazing, right? And their piano player wasn't there yet. So they're a 3-piece band, piano, bass, and guitar. And it was just bass and guitar, right? The guitar player was so good. And I leaned to Alex, and I was just like, man, this is what it takes to be good at an instrument. You got to focus, right? I'm too spread out, right? I do too many things. I need to focus on one instrument and be good. It was like mere minutes after I said that, this phenomenal jazz guitar player puts down his guitar and goes over to the piano and starts playing the jazz piano. Like, he just like listens for a second, he gets his moment, and he just says, op, and then he's in. And he's playing this fantastic jazz piano. And I was just like, I was wrong. Like, it turns out you just have to be good.
that guy.
Yeah, like you just have to be good. Like, because they said at the beginning, you know, our piano player is going to be late. He's, you know, got something with his wife, whatever. Like, he'll be here soon. Amazing, super impressive. That's where I want to be when I'm 50. Is playing jazz music in a house band. I think that would be awesome. But sorry, side story. Bob and Barbara's, great
Bob
place.
and Barbara's.
Fantastic place. That was going to be my favorite. Since Greg claimed it, I will say another one.
No, I like that. We're stretching the Bob and Barbara's.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I will mention the Goat.
Deep lore.
I think it's on Sansom. It's like towards Rittenhouse Square. They have nice drinks. They have a pool table. It's usually not crowded. Like you can get a drink. Like if you go to next door, right, is Cavs. Rittenhouse
Yeah,
Cavs.
sports bar.
And it's like always, and it's a very cool place. I love it a lot, but like it's always so busy. It's hard to get a drink, especially on weekends. Like you go next door to Goat and you can like play pool and get a drink and it's a little less crowded. I think it's nice. The next one was food.
Yeah, where's your favorite meal?
I've had a lot
Or
of good.
happy hour.
I've had a lot of good food around here, but especially I live right in Center City. There's tons of good food. Not a lot of grocery stores, but tons of good food. There's a place called Amma's, which is an Indian place. I've eaten there to go. I'm eating there. It's really good all the time, and their portions are like, actually pretty plentiful. I'm a big fan. Things to do in Philly. I'm thinking of my 5 things.
I like how we've gotten to the point of the interview where like I don't even have to say the question again. Oh yeah, my favorite thing to do in Philly is
Yeah, it's the train. The train has left the station. You're no longer conducting. The train is running itself. Like 5 things to do in Philly. I've been to a 76ers game. Dave invited me. We had box seats. It was super fun.
Yeah, that was a great night.
That was very cool. They played Oklahoma City. Unfortunately, they lost, but the 76ers very fun to watch.
I haven't been to a basketball game yet. I've been to or a football game yet. I've been to a hockey game, a couple of baseball games.
It's tough because they're good, so it's expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is tough.
Basketball and football are the hardest to get into, yeah.
And Philadelphia fans, as a non-Philadelphia native, if anyone from Philadelphia is listening, it's admirable how much everyone in Philadelphia likes the Philadelphia sports teams.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's that way in Cleveland, but Cleveland only has like 600,000 people. Philly's what, like 2.5 million? Like,
something like that.
There's
Yeah.
a
and
good
like,
amount of
and
people here.
everyone in Philly likes the Eagles. You walk around on a Sunday that the Eagles are playing at night at 2 p.m., you don't see a person outside who's not wearing an Eagles thing. Like it's very impressive. So I've been to.
Literally, I've got my Underdogs shirt
Oh,
on.
we're in
no.
Eagles shirt.
Alex
no.
has his
Everyone's doing it
Philadelphia
now.
shirt. You're wearing green.
Kind of.
We're
I say
out
count
here.
it.
We're out here.
But so I've been to 2 Eagles games. One was a regular season game. One was the Giants playoff game.
I'm just gonna put my head down for that one because I'm originally from North Jersey.
Oh. But it was fun. And tailgating is always fun. I went to a tailgate. So we'll say the Eagles game is one. 76ers game maybe is one. Maybe you'll count that as a single one. That's fine. But I'm going to say tailgating is a second separate one.
I think it is.
Tailgating is
And-
a whole separate activity to the sports.
And there was,
itself, yeah.
I think, a great anecdote to like visualize this is for one of the Eagles games, one of the playoff games, was the 49ers game, I think. You weren't allowed to, it was a night game. You weren't allowed to start tailgating until like 4 p.m. So what people did is they bought lacrosse tickets so they could start tailgating at 8 a.m. Like, and there was the parking lot was full at 8 a.m. when the rule was you weren't allowed to start tailgating till like 2 p.m. Like, and that's what Philly fans do. I saw some,
just go above and beyond and extra for no reason.
yeah. I
That's
saw
how
like,
the Wings made all of their money for this year.
And the polls were
Yeah, I
greased,
mean, like,
and it doesn't even matter.
I went to an Eagles game this year. It was a 4:00 game. Then I went across the street to the Flyers back to back. So I went
hell
like
yeah.
from Eagles 4 to 7, and I was at the Flyers from 7 to 10.
He said
Long
both of
day.
them.
both of them. What a
Both of
John,
them.
you know?
It was a long day.
I'm from Philly.
That was really funny.
It was pretty good. John. John.
I'm John Morgan, but
Oh, fuck that guy. Can I
Yeah,
say
Dan
fuck?
is definitely not from here.
Fuck that.
I'm learning, guys. All right.
John. Hi, I'm John Morgan
doing his
from
best.
Morgan and Morgan, Florida.
What's your next one after tailgating?
So we
Yeah.
got games. We got tailgating. Chris's Jazz Cafe is coming out third. I've been there like 5 times, 3 of them
You've
by
been there 5
myself.
I've been there once. I've lived here for 6 years.
Well, I live in that like building.
Oh, okay.
I live
Makes
on
sense.
so it's like, now you know where I live. I won't, by the time this podcast comes out,
He won't live. He won't
yeah,
be
won't
living
live
there
there
anymore.
anymore.
Him, his banjo, his mandolin,
it'll
his
be an empty
keyboard, his
condo.
guitar.
Don't rob it. Don't rob this empty condo,
you'll
please.
Be you'll be in Michigan or you'll be in Ohio going west.
Yeah, driving out west. But Chris's
Route
Jazz
66.
Cafe, I've been there like 5 times. 3 of them were by myself because it's like right there. You go on a random weeknight, it's like, I don't know, pretty cheap to get in. They're never sold out. And like, it's very cool to see extremely skillful musicians. If you go on Fridays, it's like kind of expensive and they have like, a phenomenal jazz trio. And then once the late show is over at midnight, they have a jazz jam night, but like not like one that I would join because they're actually good, but it's so crazy to see like this, world-class jazz trio followed by extremely talented local musicians who are like, hey, if anyone knows any jazz standards, come talk to me and you can play. It's very cool. So I would say that's 3.
We have a time limit, so
Okay, on my last 2, on 15th and Broad, there is like a playhouse. I don't remember exactly what it's called. I saw an opera there that was cool. I think it was put on by Curtis, the music school. So that's 4. And then 5 was I saw an organ concert last night.
I can't believe it made the pod.
The most esoteric classical organ concert on a church. It was like 21st and Walnut, maybe. So there's 5 things.
Wait, like an organ?
Like a church
Instruments?
organ with multiple players on it playing the organ.
How big is this organ?
A normal organ size.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's a church organ, so they had the pipes throughout the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's not just like, hey, an organ that you would bring in for a band.
that-
the thing is,
Was it on the
building.
Unitarian Church on 21st and 20th and Chestnut about?
Is
Oh,
it the
maybe.
church?
There's a couple. There's a church there's a big church
I
on
don't
the
know.
corner where right on Rittenhouse Square.
Oh, I
right
know
We're
what you're
losing the
talking
plot a
about.
little bit.
Anyway.
The other church.
But there's 5 things to do in Philly, and I've only lived here 4 months. No excuses, guys. All right?
So many.
That was great. You could go see an esoteric organ concert whenever you want.
So many.
Apparently.
How do you pronounce that? I can't-
Esoteric.
Esoteric.
Yeah, you got it.
Esoteric. Wow, I can't do that.
Can you spell it?
No.
Okay.
It's
neither
not.
can
It's
I.
like
I'm
Okay,
erotic,
gonna
probably
but
Google
not
it
quite.
later. I will be.
It's
Googling
like
it.
close.
We're probably
like
gonna
initials.
add one of those like dictionary definitions. Like I wanted
Do
to
a
for
video.
Alex,
You should do a video. Like add a video.
like a
Do-
caption.
yeah,
The whole
one
thing's
that's-
a video.
Yeah, we will be.
Caption it.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing's a video.
No. Like you know.
You should.
She
You should
knows
get
what I
this
know.
on
I meant a
video,
video
guys.
Yo, Alex's
I knew what you
reaction
meant.
faces are the best faces.
Where's the 8-track cassette deck? Thank you.
What if you vlogged it? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I just want to ask one more thing for the Cubicle Boys before they perform their song. They're going to be performing, what's the title of the song?
Fire on the Mountain, and then we could do Rooster
Ooh,
too.
I say 100% you do Fire on the Mountain, and if we have time, we'll do the second song. One more time, their show was on March 30th, on Thursday, March 30th at Kung Fu Necktie. Do you guys have online music on Spotify, YouTube?
We don't have music online, but we do have an Instagram at
There's
the
an
Cubicle
Instagram.
Shamans.
Check out
At
Cubicle Shamans.
They're gonna have all our show information. I'm working on putting together like a YouTube channel and stuff like that. So that's to come.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because we can record in here, so we're gonna do some little light recording stuff and but we'll put that stuff on the Instagram once we have it too. So yeah, that's all kind of in the works.
Very cool. Thank you again for watching, and this is Troy again, running.
Thanks, Troy.
Wait,
Thanks, Troy.
running like you do.
It's Troy.
It's Troy.
Hey, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Wah, ba, 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 ba.
Long distance runner, what you standing there for? Get up, get out of the door. You play cold music on the barroom floor. Drown in your laughter and get to the core. There's a dragon with matches that's loose on the town. Takes a whole pail of water just to cool it down. Yeah, fire, fire on the mountain. 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 Almost ablaze, still you don't feel the heat. Takes all you got just to stay on the beat. Saying it's a living we all got to eat. You're here alone, there's no one to compete. Mercy's a business, I wish it for you. It's more than just ashes when your dreams come true. Yeah, fire, fire on the mountain. 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 Long distance runner, what you running out for? On the motion and a dance to the door. The flame from your stage has no spread to the floor. Gave all you had, now you wanna give more. The more that you give, the more it will take. The line beyond which you really can't fade. Yeah, fire, fire on the mountain. Fire, fire on the mountain. Fire, fire on the mountain. Fire, fire on the mountain.
All right, that was fun. That was fun.
Can't find a way to kill me yet. Eyes burn with stain and sweat. Seems every path leads me to nowhere. Wife and kids, a household pet. Army green was no safe bet. The bullets screamed to me from somewhere. Yeah, they come to snap the rooster. Tall machine gun man, they spit on me in my homeland. The yells sends me pictures of my boy. Got my pills against mosquito death. My buddy's breathing his dying breath. Oh God, please, won't you help me make it through? Oh, yeah, they come to snap the rooster.
God, it's such a banger.